What's going on, guys? Hookah-Drew here, and today we're going to be going over a vapor hookah, and the vapor hookah is called the Spare. I wound up picking up this hookah at a local shop of mine. Could probably get this around $100, maybe less. The down stem and the top stem actually screw together inside the base. I believe it's made out of aluminum, very light, and I think the base is heavier than the stem. The hose it comes with is a silicone hose, a very thin tip. I've been calling it like a needle because it kind of looks like a needle and thread, and it does have a little spring here to stop the end that goes into the base from bending. I'm sure many people have run into, now it's 2019 and you get a lot of kinks in some of the looser hoses, and this is one of the more looser hoses, so it will kink. So the spring does help, which is pretty cool. It looks like it also has a very special kind of a end adapter, which you can probably throw any other silicone of this gauge onto this and plug that in. It literally has just a little gasket, and it's just the tip that sits inside the base, so you're kind of stuck using that kind of hose. But I feel like personally you could probably home make something to fit into there, which I probably will further on. But for now, I'll just use the needle. Another really cool thing is I believe this is also made out of aluminum. It looks like some of the die casting, or however they pressed this aluminum plate here. It looks like a very it could have been a little bit better. There's a lot of like raised sharpness on like around these edges here that it's almost a little sharp to the touch, but not entirely. I don't think you can really cut yourself or hurt yourself unless you're really trying to. But I feel like, the finishing probably could have been a lot better on this ashtray. But other than that, I really like the design of the ashtray. It has a really cool flower look. It's got a really nice, design inside, which is really cool. This part right here is made to sit right upon the stem itself. One of the issues that I ran into when I was trying to purge out the smoke, the purge was extremely tight. Like, it was just really, really tight, and you couldn't get any smoke out whatsoever unless you were trying to blow the water up the stem into the bowl, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. So what I wound up doing was, on the inside of this, I do have some photos of what it looked like before. So the inside, there's a little copper or brass piece that sits in where the purge valve is, and it's like a little glass ball inside. So essentially the purge valve is built into the base. This part actually pops out. As far as getting anything in there to try to pull it out nicely, you kind of need a hook, so you can get in there at an angle and hook and pull it out. But I wound up just putting a drill bit in there and drilled a little bit into it, and I was able to pull it out. And so I took the ball out, and I was just kind of looking at to see, what exactly is going on. And the design looks like it goes straight in this way in an angle, and then there's two holes on the outside that kind of sit in an angle as well. And basically all I did, I just drilled the holes a lot bigger, and I just kind of drilled it in, and I kind of like opened up the holes a lot more, because I think what was happening was the BB was just falling up like this when you're blowing it, and it's not going anywhere. So the ball was just sitting right here and still covering the airflow, so you're getting a very minimum amount of smoke to get out of the base. I made the purge holes a lot bigger, and what I wound up doing was I just cleaned it up with some sandpaper. I did lose a little bit of paint. I'm not too worried about it. But this is one downfall that I found from this hookah. Putting it together is very simple. It's just, you screw in the top stem, and once you've done that, it actually has leftover thread that sits underneath. Really cool design. Very, very, very simple. You screw the bottom stem right onto that, and it sits in there nice and straight. And then you can just kind of, twist them both in the opposite direction. Very light stem, very cool. This is about 29 inches of just the stem. Now, another fancy part is the vase, or the vase, base, whatever you want to call it. I call it a base. I already got some water inside here, but the base is extremely cool. It has a really cool little pattern that's painted on it. Very tall. I love the bottom because the bottom just allows the base to sit nicely with absolutely no wiggle for the hookah, which is really good if you don't really have a custom hookah table or if you're trying to just put it down in a flat surface, this sits at about almost 15 inches. And so that's pretty long for a base. All right, so let's whip up a bowl and let's get this thing token so you can see how it rips. You get some pretty loud bubbles out of it, but as far as the hit goes, I mean, I think it's a pretty good draw, if you ask me. And now with the purge valve being a little bit bigger, you have tons of airflow to release all that harsh smoke, or the majority of it. It's a little tough with these bases, but you get the idea. That about sums up this hookah review. I've been using this for about 2 weeks now, and I haven't really had much complaints besides that purge valve. Everything else seems to be, you know, working pretty well. I'm enjoying it so far, as long as you're, you know, keeping up with like somewhat of a cleaning, kind of, you know, maybe at least twice a week. I mean, I used to do it every day, but it slowed down a bit. But as far as the mechanics and all that, with everything unscrewing and stuff like that, you probably want to clean it a little bit more often so nothing cakes up. Or if you're going to store it, I'd suggest leaving it apart when you do so. Other than that, I'm hoping this review helped you guys out. If you liked my stuff, please subscribe, like, comment. I'll be willing to, you know, discuss anything like that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.